welcome in Tamers. Once again, we are back with another deck profile. This one is yet another somewhat silly deck that I've been playing across the last couple of weeks. I've been absolutely enjoying the hell out of it, and as you can see, it is Goldramon on the deck. Unfortunately, I only have yet another Royal Knights playmat to really have on deck, so we're sticking with it. Yeah, let's get into it. Goldramon's on the top, it's just level 3s. Anyway, we'll start off with the eggs as per usual. Very nice. We have, I'll figure out my lighting here, we have 4 of EX2 Digimon. This one is simply when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, draw a card. Not too bad at all, we've got 4 of those. And then of course we're running the one of Tokomon. When a card is added to your security stack, draw 1 card as well. Very nice. Once again, I will try and have the cards bigger either on the left or the right, one of the two sides, just for your viewing pleasure. But let's get into the rookies. We'll keep Goldramon off on the side there. We're kicking it off with 4 Goldramons from BT17. Now, arguments say that you should just run the EX3 Patamon, the one that actually works with this archetype. However, I mean, searching out your vaccines is nice. Patamon can't search Gatomon though. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem I have. Patamon can't search out either your level 4s or multiple dragons, really. Basically, that's it. Nor can he search out your Tamer, which is really weird, as Patamon is like TK's Digimon or whatever. Either way, Goldramon will, on play, allow you to reveal the top 3, add 1 yellow Digimon card with vaccine trait, and 1 yellow Tamer. Place the rest at the bottom, with its inheritance being if there are 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stacks, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k. So once again, playing into the minus BP archetype, but honestly, it's just another searcher that replaces the Patamon searcher that you kind of already ran in the deck, and searches out the majority of your other pieces. Now the other level 3, yes, we are only running 8, once again. Welcome to my absolutely wacky wild deck building. We're running 4 of the BT14 Patamon. You just can't not, honestly. In a deck that wants to turbo to be able to let your big boys have rush, you kind of really need to have the Patamon that will allow you to pull out of your security stack. Now, you can stack this in many different ways. You've got your level 5s that we'll get into in just a little bit. You've got your Patamon that you can stack your security with for potentially another Patamon. You've got the TK that, hey, if we're running the Patamon, we're running the TK, right? Surely. So it's just absolutely insane to once again gain more memory on your turn when, let's be real, you don't really need memory in this deck, but it's a nice commodity to have. Resource is always great. But those are your 8 level 3s. Your 8 rookies. Moving straight onto the level 4s, we're running 4 of the archetypal Digimon from EX3. When digivolving, reveal top 4, add a card with Dramon in name, and 1 4 Great Dragons in traits. This allows you to pull options. This allows you to pull Goldramon Goldra X off of 1 search. So this card is the better searcher in my opinion, simply because it's also a when digivolving effect. If you pull this off your stack when you Patamon search, you're golden. You are literally golden. And it's just insane. Yes, you fully resolve Patamon before you can start loading up your, start doing your searches, but even then, like, you've got cards in your hand. This deck does draw pretty bookie wild. Not only that, but the inherit is, of course, when when a 4 Great Dragon is played, give it rush. That's it. It's nice. And same goes for this Gatomon here. Gatomon, sorry. This Gatomon also gives rush as the inherit. However, this time it is on play, search the top 4, add 1 4 Great Dragon trait. But this time instead of a Dramon, you add 1 Angel. So Gatomon can search out all of your level 5 Angels. We are only running Angels as our level 5s. Now let's break these down one at a time. Let's start with the archetypal one, right? Let's start with the Angel Woman, not Ace. When digivolving, if you do not have a Trial of the Great 4 Dragon option in play, place 1 Trial of the 4 Great Dragon. Now you're not playing this card, Therefore, we'll skip a little bit ahead, but we won't fully go into it. Therefore, you do not get the draw 1. You do not have to pay the 8 memory, but you do have to wait the turn for the delay. Right? So, when you do place one, or you play a 4 Great Dragon, you can minus 3000 DP one of your opponent's Digimon. This is also its inherent effect, so you can potentially get a minus 6000 DP bomb on one of your opponent's Digimon. Now let's compare this. That's a 3-cost evolution, right? If you're at 4 memory, and your opponent has a memory setter, let's compare this with them dropping a Magnet Angemon Ace onto the deck onto the field. It's only a 4 drop, and it is potentially a maximum off of itself, a maximum turn 1 minus 6000. Simply because if you have 5 security, you recover 1, and you minus 1000 one of your opponent's Digimon for every security card you have. That's kind of insane. On top of the amount that this deck can recover, I've seen people go to 11 security. This means that you can, if you just hard drop this, you don't recover, however you are still minusing 11,000 DP off of one of your opponent's Digimon. That's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Surely. And seeing as DP minus is still one of the biggest killers in this game, very, very funny. But those are our level 5s. Now, as you can see, we are playing the 4 Great Dragons, which means we have the best 4 Great Dragon, Goldramon, leading the front line, as he's the only one that really does good for us. This fella right here, Goldramon. When Digivolving and on play, play 1 Amon of Crimson Flame token, 1 Umon of Blue Thunder token. Where do I put my tokens? Oh, they're right there. There you go. Play 1 of each of those. Not those specific arts, those are mine, but there we go. One of them basically has Rush, one of them has Blocker. They are both 6000, no level, no play cost. And they're just insane. One's red, one's yellow as well, just like the main Digimon. The kicker is, however, when this Digimon would Digivolve or leave the battle area, delete your tokens and recover 1. This applies for Digivolving as it says. This also applies for de-Digivolving, which I think is the only instance we have where de-Digivolve procs an effect. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, of course, but this is how it's been ruled everywhere around me. If Goldramon gets de-Digivolved, or Goldramon X Antibody, which we'll get into in just a second, were to be de-Digivolved, you can still delete the tokens and recover that 1. As long as you have a token on field, that is. As long as you still have 1 token on the field. Now, like I said, Goldramon X Antibody. Not only do you delete your tokens to then evolve into Goldramon X Antibody for 2 from Goldramon, it has Raid. Very nice. It's red. It's a red card. But when Digivolving, you may use 1 Godflame or 1 option card with the 4 Great Dragons in its traits from your hand without paying the cost. Now remember, this is you using this option card, so you can play Trial of the Great 4 Dragon that normally costs 8 for 0. You're playing that card for 0. That's phenomenal in my eyes. You're getting a free 8 memory on top of the 12 that you've probably just got from destroying one to play the Goldramon. Blows my mind. However, there are more options that we'll get into just a little bit later, and you can see what other ones there are. The biggest kicker, as I said, of course, is the all turns effect. When this Digimon... Sorry, when? Not even a when. Just this Digimon gains all effect of Goldramon in the sources. That means that he gains the when Digivolving effect of the other Goldramon, allowing you to spit out your tokens once again. So it wouldn't be a 4 Great Dragons, of course, without the other 4 Great Dragons. But before we get into that, we are still running one of the old Goldramons, the EX3 Goldramon. When Digivolving, return 1 4 Great Dragons traded card to your hand. But when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8? No, I can't read numbers. 6,000 DP for the turn. Then you may return 1 Magnedramon, 1 Zulongmon, and 1 Megidramon. You have a Zulong, Megidra, and Magnedramon to the bottom of your deck to trash the top 2 cards of your opponent's security. Not quite 3, which would be pretty funny, but we are trashing 2 security. Now let's break down each of these other dragons. We've seen the Goldramon. Let's break down the Magnadramon. On play when digivolving, by trashing the top or bottom card of your security, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 9,000 DP until the end of their turn. Broken card, why would you not use it? As opposed to the minus a security attack 2. That's just not worth it at this point. All turns, when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you may place 1 yellow card from your hand at the top or bottom of the security stack. Now, it doesn't specify a vaccine, so we're kind of in there. We can put any of these cards, including the options, to the bottom of our security. To the top or bottom of our security, sorry. The Megidramon, EX3 Megidramon, whatever you want to call it. On play, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon cards. If this card was played by Trial of the Great Four Dragons, add 1 to the maximum level that this Digimon can delete. So you can delete a level 6, pretty much. On deletion, of course, place a Trial of the Great Four Dragon into your battle area if you do not already have one. Of course, we'll get into it a little bit later, but that works perfectly well with the trial that we have going on, because of course it forces you to delete the Digimon at the end of your opponent's turn. That's Megidramon. Zulongmon. Now, a lot of people have always said just run a Zulongmon Ace. In my opinion, it is not worth it for this deck. Again, because you're going to be playing a lot off of Trial of the Great Four Dragon. I get that it can ace once again, and it is a nice ace, but in my opinion, aces just aren't that worth it. Sure, I run 4 Magnadramon, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to get into a rush body further down the line if I need to. Zulongmon, however, on play draw 2. Then, if it was played by the Trial of the Great Four Dragon, gain 2 memory as well. It has the same on deletion as Megidramon, where it is on deletion if you do not already have a Trial of the Great Four Dragon in play, place 1 in the battle area. Now to cap off all of those Digimon, I've got the one tech card that is Omnimon Merciful Mode. In the current EX6 meta, it is imperative that you keep 7 Great Demon Lords at bay, and I mean, just getting cards out of your opponent's trash is pretty funny anyway. You also get the big delete and the burn security at the beginning of your turn if it survives. It's also a 15k swing if you somehow have the 6 memory to spare to get into this boy. But those are in fact all of our Digimon right there. Moving on to Tamers, like I said before, we've got 2 of the BT14 TK. On play, return the top card of your security to your hand, and then you may place... You may place 1 vaccine card to the bottom of your security. When a card is added to your security stack, tap to gain a memory. Sorry, suspend to gain a memory. Tap, suspend, same thing, everybody knows what I'm talking about. He's our only Tamer. I'm only running him at a 2 of, but honestly, if I was to do anything, I'd swap the Merciful Mode out for a 3rd. That would probably be the only thing that I changed there. Now again, we are playing the Great Four Dragon deck, which requires you to have trials of the Great Four Dragons. We run 4 of them, why would you not? This card is Buki Wild to bring out your level 6s for 0 cost. Very, very nice indeed. Not much else to explain, except if you drop the 8 memory for it, or if you play it off of Goldramon X Antibody, you are drawing a card. The only thing to state about this card, of course, is that any of these Digimon cannot digivolve into a level 7. So although I do run the Omnimon Merciful Mode, if you play off of Trial of the Great Four Dragon, you will not be able to evolve into it. That is something to keep in mind. But you can go from 6 to 6, so if you hard drop the Goldramon, you can evolve into Goldramon X Antibody. That is allowed. Very funny though. It is a very funny card when you just drop a level 6 for 0 cost. Moving along, to pair with a TK, we've got 2 Emissary of Hopes. It's a 1 cost evolution, basically. More often than not, if you've stacked your security with, say, Patamon or TK, you Emissary into an Angel, you've had a 1 cost evolution turn. One of my lights has died. Well, we're having to swap back to the overhead light, seeing as one of my lights died. Let me know which lighting you like better, by the way. I'm intrigued to see what people think. Anyway, Emissary of Hope, of course, search your security, evolve into a level 6 or lower Digimon for 0 cost, obviously still meeting the evolution requirements. You can't just hop from a level 3 to a level 5, that would be super broken. Then if you have a TK, recover 1, which, hey, we have a TK. Another 2 of, we're running Physical Training. Once again, it is more often than not a 0 evolution backup off the Patamon, or your Kudamon, or it's a 1 drop into Magnet Anja, or it's a 2 drop into Goldramon, which is also very funny. With this card, search top 2. Reveal top 2 cards of your deck, then add 1 yellow card among them to your hand. Delay. You may evolve for a reduced cost of 2, as long as you're going into a yellow Digimon, and it is a forced evolution, so you must evolve as soon as you break training. Oh, you look at the one of next of Godflame. This card is great, honestly. I just wish it was a little bit stronger, but again, power creep is an amazing thing. So Godflame, minus 6000 DP to one of your Digimon for the turn, your opponent's Digimon for the turn, then return 1 card with the 4 Great Dragons and its traits from your trash to your hand. That is one of your big dragons, that is one of your trials, that is one of your last 4 options, that is Dragon's Breath. This card is just better, it's a better Godflame! In every sense of the word, except it doesn't recur a piece from trash. Dragon's Breath, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 4 Great Dragon traded card or 1 yellow card from among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom, and then place this card in your battle. Because its delay effect is, by placing a Trial of the Great Four Dragon into play, or by discarding a card with 4 Great Dragon in its traits, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 7000 DP for the turn. It's just better Godflame. Get rid of this card. Get it out of here. If I could run 10 of these, I would. That's what I'm saying here. But being able to, like I said before, being able to play the 8 cost option off of Goldramon X Antibody is insane. Being able to do it off of a 4 cost option a turn later is even more insane. Honestly, your ideal turn 1 is going to be raise Patamon in the back and then play a Dragon's Breath, probably more often than not. That'll be your most optimal turn 1. Obviously, if you want to keep Numberlow, you can haha funny Emissary of Hope and not evolve for 1. You can haha training, get ready and set up for 2. But in my opinion, dropping a Dragon's Breath for 4 on your turn 1 when you're going first. What's your opponent going to do if you're going first? If you're going second, hey, you probably choke them to 1 anyway, right? This deck is very funny. It revolves around sacking off your opponent's Digimon with minus DP, as yellow tends to do. But it also revolves around comboing off of just dropping a Goldramon from Trial of the Great Four Dragon. This deck can do multiple swings, and it is very nice. Let's get into a little bit of a combo demonstration, and then we'll wrap it up there. Alrighty then, welcome to the combo demonstration. So, first off, you can see on board we have the Angel Woman with the Digimon in the sources, meaning that we will gain Rush when we break this Trial of the Great Four Dragon to trash, using its delay effect. To hard play Goldramon, BT14. He will play out tokens, and that is not bad. We can minus 3000 DP to something off the Angel Woman, but Goldramon does have Rush. However, we're not going to sacrifice the Goldramon yet, we're going to swing with the Rush token. If it dies, it dies. Very nice. And then what we'll do is we'll break Physical Training to evolve into Goldramon X Antibody for 0. Not only this, that because we're Digivolving, we break our tokens and recover 1. We then Digivolve, so we gain back the tokens, 1 Rush, 1 Blocker, and we can use an option. Now we can either play Trial of the Great Four Dragon, we can either play Godflame, or we can either play Dragon's Breath. Those are the 3 options that we have, really. In this instance, I'm going to play Trial of the Great Four Dragons, allowing us to draw a card. Not only that, because a card was added to security, we tap TK from memory, and we gain a memory of Patamon. If we didn't have the training, we would have gone 0. However, for this we've gone +2, which is kind of insane. So we'll swing Rush with Amon of the Crimson Flame. That is 2 checks, count of 2 checks already. It dies, so what? We'll then go Goldramon X Antibody at security. Is when attacking, will allow us to play another option. We'd do the search, yada yada yada. I'm not going to do that just for time's sake. But then We can also raid as well, if we wanted to. If we didn't want to just swing 13k at security, we can raid as well. Because this card is just insane. That's 3 checks total. We can then swing with the body for a 4th check. And we can prepare for next turn, seeing as we have a blocker still on board. And we've already set up our Trial of the Great Four Dragon for next turn as well. We can either pass turn. You know what's even funnier? Is if we didn't swing with the Angemon, we can technically Emissary of Hope, check the security. If there's a Goldramon in here, which there isn't in this instance, we'd be able to play out Goldramon to gain more tokens once again. But in this instance, we'll go into Magnadramon for that 1, and once again we'll recover 1. Bring our security back. If we don't pass turn there, we can then still pass turn with the Magna Anja for cheap. We can then play another option for cheap, or we can play a Kudamon or something for cheap, just to keep those numbers down. This deck is very funny, swings fast, while utilizing the power of the DP- from the yellow side. But it's a laugh. As you can see, Trial of the Dragon, good old Persona 4. I'm in love with this deck, I'm in love with Goldramon. I cannot wait to see where we get more 4 Great Dragons. But as of right now, I'm going to get the hashtag out. Let me know what deck you want to see in the description. Let me know what deck you want to see on the channel next. And thanks for watching. Play Digimon. Bye.